This Twitter post has been sparking some interesting conversation. So obviously, with this expansion, we got a new arena mode, Solo Shuffle, and it is by far the most popular. But to really give you guys some perspective on how popular it is, and what it's like kind of done to the 3v3 bracket, let me show you. Okay, so the approximate players over 2,400 in 3v3 2 months into the season, okay? So 2 months into the season, how many people were above 2,400? In BFA Season 4, it was 124, really, really low, super deflated season. But BFA Season 4 went on for a very, very, very long time, okay? So that season went on for a long time, and eventually inflation kind of caught up. Now, to compare to more recent expansion, Shadowlands Season 1 had 2,800 people. That's insane. 2,800 people over 2,400. And in Europe, it was 3,500. That's freaking insane. Like, the 3v3 participation in Shadowlands Season 1 was absolutely through the roof. And I think there's a few reasons for that. One of the reasons why, I mean, people don't want to admit this, but I think one of the reasons why so many people played Shadowlands Season 1, if I remember correctly, was for PvE gear. Like, a lot of PvEers played Arena for a chance at a weapon in their vault that was really good in the raid, and also for their badge. The badge trinket was the best trinket in the game for PvE and the raid for a lot of classes. So I think one of the reasons why these numbers are so high is because of the vault for the weapon, which they eventually fixed, and also because the PvE trinket was so damn good for so many classes. And I mean, maybe it was the new expansion and everyone was having fun in threes, but I specifically remember a ton of PvEers played Shadowlands Season 1. Shadowlands Season 2, the numbers are a bit lower, so even less than half. So I think at that point, I don't know if it's because they removed like the weapon reward. I almost feel like they did. I feel like less PvEers played in these 3 seasons. But you can obviously see like the participation in Season 2 was a little bit less. The participation in Season 3 was a little bit less. And for some reason, this is a really weird time. I think this may have been like when Wrath came. Like, I don't know. I don't really remember the exact timeline. Maybe when TBC came out or something like that. But I remember for a short period, like participation in EU fell off a cliff. Like normally there was way more participation, way more people playing in EU. But for some reason in Season 3 and Season 4, there was just way less people. And I really think a lot of that had to do with Classic. So kind of dividing, you know, the player base and what people wanted to do. But you could see, 2 months into Season 3, there was 1,000 people in NA, 500 in EU. Shadowlands Season 4, 600 in NA, 400. And Dragonflight Season 1. Even though I think Dragonflight has been really, really, really well received and gearing is good, like there's a lot of positives when it comes to Dragonflight, right? A lot of people are not playing threes. A lot of people are not playing threes. And I think there's a few reasons for that. We can get into those reasons in a bit, but yeah, this is one of those threads. You know, Featherfeet says it's hard when to keep dividing the brackets. First was Classic release. Solo Shuffle is a great addition to the game, but we all should have known that it would really impact 3v3. This is my first concern about it. I now watch everyone all blame Shuffle as if it isn't just a band-aid for a larger issue, that the fact that regular threes is flavor of the month, not good, and lack of balance, one-shot meta is what is actually killing threes. Yeah, it's nuts. And there's a lot of different hypotheses, if that's a word, for why participation in threes is low. We can get out the whiteboard. So we get out the whiteboard right now. So I think one of the reasons, first of all, I mean, people have a hard time finding teammates, right? So these are the big reasons why I think people are playing more Solo Shuffle than 3v3. Number one, inflation in Shuffle is sky high. Okay, so for the same amount of effort in Solo Shuffle, maybe even less effort because you don't have to find teammates, your rating is way higher. So like you just get better rewards in Solo Shuffle. Like it is easier to get all rewards by far outside of the Glad mount. So outside of the Gladiator mount, it is easier to get everything. It's easier to unlock your transmog. It's easier to unlock your cloak. It's easier to get your tabard. It's easier to get the elite title. It's easier to just upgrade your gear to full. Everything about it is easier because of the inflation. So I think there's a few different things you could do about that in the future. Like if you want to like nudge people towards playing threes, and I'm not sitting here saying that I don't know. Like I don't know, like if people like we should be like, I think it's good that we encourage more people to play threes for sure. But I've seen some people suggest that maybe solo shuffle should have less inflation than 3v3. So in order to get rewards, people are more incentivized to actually queue, rated threes. Anyways, number two, the number two reason is the obvious, right? Like you don't have to find a team. You just queue. So you just log in and queue. That's the number two reason why people are preferring solo shuffle. That might be the number one reason, honestly. Like these reasons are in no particular order. They're just popping up into my head right now. So the number two reason is you don't have to find a team. You just queue. Easy peasy, right? You just log on. We can put this here. We can mix these up. Like I said, these are in no particular order, but now they actually are in a particular order, okay? So you don't have to find a team. You just queue. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so one thing that I think they can do and should do is while you're queuing solo shuffle, you should absolutely be able to make a group for LFG. 100 fucking percent. 1,000,000%. So at the very, very least, what they have to do, in my opinion, is they need to make it so while you're in queue for solo shuffle, while in queue, you can make / sign up for rated 3v3 / 2v2. You know what I mean? So while you're looking for, like while you're doing the solo content, you need to be able to browse, sign up, and even list yourself. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be really, really, really important. Now I wanted to get into like a few reasons why I like solo shuffle more right now. And I don't know if this is something that I'll give you a few reasons why when I log on, I actually more often than not want to play solo shuffle instead. And the reason is, even though, at the beginning we saw a billion demon hunters, like everybody's a fucking demon hunter, I would say there's more comp variety, less flavor of the month. So when I queue rated threes, every single game, or like 90% of the games I play, are some S tier meta comp. And I mean, you would expect that at high ratings, right? But it feels really difficult to overcome that, to be honest. Like you queue at like 2400, which is like glad rating. All you're fighting is like AWC teams running with an assassination rogue, playing assassination Destro, assassination Arcane Mage, RMP. Like it's kind of annoying and it gets old. And also like when I'm queuing during the day, what typically happens for me is like I'll get a group together, I'll queue threes, and I'll fight one team over and over and over, right? Like let's say I'm playing Mage Lock Druid and I'm queuing into, an Asa Rogue, Shadow Priest Shaman. Like I'm going to lose every game. They have a big advantage in the matchup. And it's just not that fun to just play into that team over and over and over, right? Like that's the nice thing about solo shuffle is you queue up, it's a different lobby. Like maybe there's all casters, maybe it's you and 3 melee, maybe it's 2 casters, 2 melee, but everybody gets to play with each other. Everybody gets to play different comps. And for that reason, I sometimes actually prefer playing solo shuffle because I don't want to just play into the same comps over and over and over and just get shit on by, the tier 1 classes. And plus, I think like the rapid acceleration of dampening actually makes for like quicker games, What are some other reasons why you guys prefer solo shuffle, or you actually prefer rated threes? So the benefit of rated threes is faster queues. Unless you're a healer, faster queues for DPS. Like instead of sitting 30-minute queues, you get like a 1-2 minute queue, which is you get to play way more. If you actually have a group and play rated threes, it is way more. You get to play so much more games. The social aspect. Okay, yeah, of course, faster queues, social aspect. making friends, investing in people, learning and growing together, teamwork and friendship. The thing is, like, what a lot of people will say is like, for someone like me and for someone like you, Axton, like, we're well connected, right? Like, we're well connected. We got a bunch of friends we can queue with. Like, if you want to find like a warlock to queue with, you probably got 3 on your friends list that you can message, and they respect you enough to want to try it. You know what I mean? Like, for a lot of people, they don't have that, unfortunately. Exactly. Like, are you actually making friends, or are you just playing with the same people? For me, I get to play with people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yesterday I wanted to play. I was like, man, I wish I had a druid. And then Axton messaged me. He's like, you know what? I'll play Resto. It's like, okay, cool. I didn't have to sit in LFG for that. That's great. Streamer Bennies. I get it. Also, one thing about solo shuffle, here's another thing. People might think I'm stupid for this, but I actually think that solo shuffle, because of the way dampening works, actually gives more opportunity to classes, and in a way is more balanced. More classes / specs have a chance to win. I really believe that. I think in solo shuffle, there's more classes and specs that have a chance to win and do well. 100%. Those are some of the benefits of solo shuffle. For threes, obviously, you get faster queues if you DPS. There's the social aspect. Like, you know, I still feel like maybe it's more prestigious. Is that how you spell prestigious? Double check before, you know, people make fun of me. Yeah, it's not. All right, here we go. Autocorrect. I don't have autocorrect in Notepad. I wish I did. All right, cool. We got it. So, more prestigious. You know, people will say, like, all the tournaments are in 3v3. So, that's just like the competitive bracket. You know, people make fun of you if you're like 1800 in threes and you're 3K in solo shuffle. People make fun of you, you know, like my warlock, you know. My warlock, I'm huge in solo shuffle. I'm 2071. And in threes, I'm only 1600. You know, people are going to inspect me and they're like, oh, you're just a solo shuffle Andy, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I think another thing about solo shuffle is like you can prove yourself without a team. That's another thing I think is really, really big. More prestigious, the gladiator mount. Is there any other benefits to threes? Gladiator mount? Is there any other benefits to 3v3? Faster queues, the social aspect, more prestigious, and the gladiator mount. I feel like there's a lot of people that think that they should make solo shuffle worse. Like, their mindset is that they should make solo shuffle worse. And I had somebody, so I'll give you somebody yesterday when I was streaming my Wrath of the Lich King 5v5, and somebody came in my stream and they're like, hey Ven, like, you obviously really like fives. Let me run an idea by you. I was like, yeah, I love fives. Like, it's my favorite. Let me run an idea by you. He goes, what if they cut fives from Wrath of the Lich King so more people were forced to play threes and twos to build up activity in those brackets? And I was like, why? I just told you fives is my favorite bracket. Why would I want them to delete fives so I would be forced to play into Paladin DK and twos? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, if people are having fun with this, why would you, like, if more people are enjoying this, why would you want to make this worse? Why would you want to make solo shuffle worse and force people to play 3v3? Now, what I think is, I think there's a way to have your cake and eat it too. I think that there is a way to make it so both solo shuffle and rated 3v3 and 2v2 kind of pop off. And I think one of the ways you can do it, in my opinion, one of the ways you can do it is something that they used to do in Warcraft 3, where they would have like they would have specific modes highlighted on different days. This is something I've talked about quite a bit. So, like, you know, you have 7 days in a week. Maybe you have 3 days a week that are specific to 3v3. You know, 3 days a week that are specific to solo shuffle, or, you know, 2 for solo shuffle, 2 for twos, whatever, however you want to do it. Like, maybe there's actually, the best thing they could do is have like specific nights or, you know, days, however you want to do it, where those brackets are incentivized. You know what I mean? Like, oh, on Friday night, that's threes hour. So, like, everybody try to find your team, get in there, you know, maybe ratings like inflated that day a little bit. Like, everybody gets an extra MMR on that day. Maybe they get extra rewards, as an example. And that would actually maybe encourage people to play during that time. that is an option. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, specific days that actually encourage those brackets, like twos or even RBGs. Sorry, I always forget RBGs. RBGs could also be in the mix as well, because I know there's still a lot of people that love rated battlegrounds. So maybe that'd be a thing too. Like encourage people to play rated battlegrounds. Maybe you can earn extra honor for your alts or like specific rewards, or you know what I mean? Something like that I think could be interesting. Or like, yeah, even like a little mini tournament. Like they used to do that as well. They'd have little tournaments and specific brackets. People, and someone says people have jobs and lives outside of WoW, and that would be really unfortunate if they could only. Well, I'm not saying that. Okay, listen, I'm not saying that what they should do is make it so you can't play outside of that. I understand that people have jobs. Okay, people have jobs. I get it. You can even randomize it where like the first week of the month it's this way, the second week it's this way, and it rotates. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you could just like, yes. Anyways, so I think that's an option. I think another option that they could do, because I really feel like right now, like getting 2,400 is just like getting 2,400 and getting your glad wins. Like unless you're like an AWC team or you're legitimately, you know, always a rank 1 player, you're probably not getting your glad mount. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's many people that are like breaking into the glad scene at this point. Now I've heard some people say that they actually think that this is good, and I don't know if I agree with this, but I've heard people say that it's good that people aren't getting gladiator. Like it should be really hard to get gladiator like it used to be. But then the only thing I would say about that is then people aren't going to play threes. Like if it's too hard, first of all, if it's way harder to actually make groups to queue, and the only reward is a gladiator mount and nobody's going to be able to get it, there's no point of playing for a lot of people, right? People just aren't going to play. So I feel like there has to be a happy median. What I actually think they should do is I think they should make gladiator and rank 1 percentage based again, to be honest with you. When you look at this, I don't even care if they increase the percentage based. You guys are saying that you disagree with me, but let me explain myself first. In a season like this, where there are 2,800 people playing above 2,400, the achievement of Gladiator and the Gladiator mount have a vastly different meaning than this. You know what I mean? Like, this has a vastly different meaning than this. And I feel like it's kind of like, it's hard to... It's such an arbitrary number, 2,400, right? Like if a ton of people are playing, 2,400 is not hard to get for a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Obviously, thousands of people were above 3,000 people were above 2,400. Okay, that's a lot. Versus this season where it's like it's way harder. I feel like the reward for the mount and the title should be like relatively consistent. You know what I mean? This is a boring discussion at this point. 2s and 3s are dead without casuals. Rank 1 players and streamers can go fight themselves however they want now. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm being pretty reasonable at this point. I don't even know if I don't even know what side of the fence I'm on. Like, I think it would be great if all the different brackets were incentivized. But if solo shuffle is just the thing that people want to play the most and is the easiest to play, then I mean, if that gets people into WoW PvP, I think that's great. You know what I mean? I do think there is value in 3v3 though. Solo shuffle has kept me playing longer than I historically have. I usually play 2 or 3 months these expansion, then quit. Solo's still me logging in. I see no end in sight. I'd like to see it broaden to even more, including RBGs and 2v2. Solo shuffle has saved the game for me. I feel like a lot of people feel that way, right? So I think right now there's two sides. The casual player is loving solo shuffle, and like basically the people who are like, I would say the people who consistently get glad and consistently get rank 1 still like, they like 3v3 the most. It's, you know, the most prestigious to them. They want the rewards, they want the rank 1 title, and they want more people to play 3s, you know, even though it's like it's not as convenient for a lot of people, you know. So I think it's an interesting discussion to have. I don't know what the solution is, honestly. Like I said, I find myself wanting to play. I do like playing with my friends and stuff. I still like playing threes. There's no doubt about it. But I understand the convenience and the benefit of solo shuffle being as good as it is right now. You know, and I think it's really fun. I love that I can just log on and play, and I don't have to find teammates, and I'm not just looking for games. Like for me, and I'm sure this is really relatable to a lot of you guys. Just in conclusion, this is relatable to a lot of you guys. Like, I used to want to stream WoW. I used to want to stream WoW PvP in the evenings, and I would log on, and I was like, you know what? I have like 4 hours right now, 5 hours. I really want to just stream, and I want to stream PvP. And I would log on. I wouldn't turn on my stream, and I would look around for like 20 minutes. So this is even for me. I'd look around for 20 minutes to try to find like some sort of content or threes that I could play, and I just couldn't find games. So instead of like streaming and playing, I just logged off because nobody else wanted to play. Now, I don't give a shit. I'll turn on my stream whenever. I'll just jump in solo shuffle and play whenever I want. And for me, as a streamer, I love it. So it's great. They should put an off-color Glad Mountain solos. I mean, I guess that's a question. Here's a question I'll leave you guys on. Do you think that they should add a Gladiator off-color mount in solo shuffle? 90% of people in my stream are saying yes. I feel like there's so few people that don't care about the death of threes. I don't know. I just think people are having fun playing the game. People are having fun playing the game. Like I said, I love threes. I hope three sticks around for a long time. I want to play threes. I hope it's rewarding, but I mean, there's just no denying that people like the convenience of solo shuffle. No doubt about that. Video games are supposed to be fun, man. And if people are having fun playing fucking solo shuffle, that's fine, right? Like, I don't know. But anyways, that's it. I'd like to know your thoughts.